I, after placing my order in for the catch can, received my MIshimoto sponsorship pack, which is a swag bag. For the viewers that aren't aware, guys, I am actually sponsored by MIshimoto Autosports. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what's inside the packaging, what you can expect, and then we're gonna go ahead and start unboxing the oil catch can that we're gonna be installing today into the KevTypeR. So I am super excited to see what was sent to me through the sponsorship bag. This is gonna be a pretty quick portion of the video. We're gonna focus more on the catch can. All right, let's see what we got inside. So we have a little catalog sheet, so that's pretty cool. We have 2 MIshimoto stickers. We have a little sheet showing welcome to Team MIshimoto. We have a MIshimoto, I don't know what these are called. I actually don't remember the name of these, but coaster. No, not coaster. We have some air fresheners from MIshimoto. And then we got a lanyard. A nice little MIshimoto lanyard. This right here, guys, is all the internals that came with the MIshimoto sponsorship pack. I'm actually the most excited about the lanyard because I've been needing a lanyard. My lanyard was from my college days and it's all pretty messed up. So now that we got that unboxed, we're gonna go ahead and grab the oil catch can. So I already broke the seal on it. Let's go ahead and open it up and pull out the internals. So I went ahead and opened up the packagings, guys, to show you guys what exactly comes in the MIshimoto catch can kit. As you see, we have 2 aluminum fittings right here, and these are actually going to screw into our catch can right there, and we have another one for the out. So apart from these fittings, we also have a mounting bracket. So this mounting bracket is actually going to go on the oil catch can, and this is what we're going to use to mount it to the firewall of our car. So that's pretty cool. It's a good, nice material right here. It has a nice flat black to it, which is I wanted it to be really subtle. We have 2 pamphlets and a air freshener that come with it too. And in this pamphlet, it talks about the warranty and it talks about the installation of it if you need some installation instructions. But you don't if you're watching this video. So after that, we have the hoses that are gonna run to our oil catch can. We have a diagram right here showing us the routing of the hoses. And then we have some clamps right here to tie down our hoses. If we look down here, this fitting is what we're going to be using to drain out the oil catch can once it gets full. So this is how it looks like from the inside. You have a little screen right there and a filter. This is where all our bad contaminated oil is going to go and everything. Really good quality though, guys. It honestly feels really good in the hands. It has some weight to it, which is always really good. And honestly, I think this looks really sick, and this is going to look great on the KevTypeR. I'm going to go ahead and explain a little bit to you guys what the oil catch can system is for, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the install of it. So if you already know a lot about oil catch cans, you can go ahead and skip this part. So we're going to go ahead and dive into a little bit about what oil catch cans are for. What is an oil catch can and why do you need one? So in order to understand what oil catch cans are, we have to actually dive into the PCV system of the car, which PCV stands for positive crankcase ventilation. So inside your engine, it's building all this internal pressure and it needs to relieve it somehow. In an ideal world, you don't want positive pressure in your engine, you actually want negative pressure or vacuum. Unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. So blow-by and crankcase pressure is not just straight clean air. There's a lot of stuff mixed between this air because of all the combustion going on inside of your engine. This air from your blow-by or your crankcase pressure is all oily, it's all dirty. So we don't want any of that dirt to get into our engine bays. And over time, if you let all this dirt pile up on your valves, on your cams, or inside your engine, it could cause damage. And even if you say your car is brand new, why do I need a catch can? There's still blow-by in your engine even if you have a brand new car. What ends up happening is, let's pretend this is your piston. You have your piston rings around your piston. While that piston is traveling up and down the cylinder, there is air going through it because it's not a perfect seal around the cylinder wall. So that air passing through your cylinder or around your cylinder is called blow-by. That is what the PCV system helps eliminate. All that blow-by or excessive air, because that air isn't clean. So that is the reason we need oil catch cans in our lives, because oil catch cans go between the PCV system, and what it basically is, it's a filter where a hose runs into the oil catch can from the valve cover, and then out of the oil catch can it runs back into the same series. But inside the oil catch can, all those particles of dirty oil and dirt and contamination, that all falls to the bottom, and the only thing left after it passes through the filter is clean air being recirculated back into your engine bay. There are two main injection systems found in cars. We have ported injection and direct injection. Ported injection is usually found on older vehicles, as direct injection is found on newer cars. So my Type R is direct injection. That means that the oil being squirted from the fuel injector is going directly into the cylinder. So if you have a ported injection system, it's not as important to have an oil catch can between your system, because that fuel being sprayed in cleans off a lot of that dirt or contaminated oil that's on your valves and in your engine. But if you have a direct injection system, it's a good idea to put an oil catch can, especially if you're turbocharged, if you're tuned, if you're running something that's not as efficient. It's a good idea to put an oil catch can on your car. That is the reason I'm putting an oil catch can on my Type R, because as you guys already know from my previous videos, I'm tuned and I have a turbocharger. For a better judgment in my mind, I'm putting an oil catch can on it to catch all that dirty oil or contamination that otherwise would land on your engine. So just keep that in mind, guys. In a future video, if I'm cleaning out this oil catch can, all that oil and dirt that you see in that oil catch can, that could have ended up inside of your engine. That's just explaining to you guys a little bit of the importance of why it would be a good idea to have an oil catch can installed in your car. Look at this loser.
Looking in the mirror or
what? Oh! I see you're finally wearing a different hoodie. Hybrid Racing would be very disappointed in you right now.
You know what? I'll throw it on. It's in my laundry bag. It's clean. I just did laundry.
Wow, it looks good lowered. What did you say you were lowered on again?
Swift.
Swift Springs.
You jealous?
A little bit, not gonna lie. A little bit jealous.
Yeah.
Your MIshimoto box got a little messed up in shipping, Cooper.
That's from you, probably.
Yeah, I was a little upset at you that day, so I just threw it against the wall a couple of times. I hope that Blitz bar is not going to get in our way, but if it is, you will definitely find out in this video. So to begin, get your 10mm socket, and we are going to be taking off these 4 10mm bolts right here. And it looks like there is a 5th. Yep, so there is a 5th one at this corner right here, guys. So once you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts loose, go ahead and pick up this valve cover, and we're gonna go ahead and put this aside. So if we pull this tab right here back, we can go ahead and lift up the railing for our coil packs. We just wanna make some room so we can work with our PCV hose on the engine. Something we're gonna have to do is remove this bracket right here holding on this fuel line. And if you see right here, it's 2 10mm bolts that we're gonna have to unscrew. So if you guys look right here, this is the fuel line that we have to clamp off a little bit to be able to get on that catch can hose. So if you guys see this clip right here, what you have to do is grab your screwdriver and put it right here in the middle and push down and pull back at the same exact time. Just like that, and it should slide this tab back to the point that you can just fold it down and be able to pop this fuel line loose like that. And we have 2 10mm bolts right here. Alright guys, so this is the bracket that we're going to be using for the MIshimoto catch can. The way this is going to work is it's going to be positioned this way, and this metal part right here is going to be riding against the firewall of the car. I don't want to have it metal to metal. I've heard some cases where people just bolt it on like this and then they'll start hearing it rattle after a while. So what we're going to do is I actually passed by O'Reilly's and I picked up this 3M mounting tape. And what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to go ahead and cover the back part of the metal bracket for the catch can with this 3M tape to give it a nice cushion to ride on when we bolt it onto the firewall. Go ahead and lay it out. Make sure it sticks. Just like that. And then we're going to cut around right the slits right here so you're able to see the hole for the bolt that we're going to put in. So there we go. We're gonna run one through the bottom and then we should be good. So after we have those two on, I'm actually gonna leave the mating surface on, because if I remove it, it gets sticky, and I want to make sure to align it properly first. So the way this is going to work is this is going to be up against the firewall, and then this bracket is going to sit over it, just like that. And we're going to go ahead and reinstall the 2 original nuts that we took off of it. Rip. God damn it. Tying these 2 bolts down that we removed off the fuel line bracket. Get them nice and snug. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna reinstall this fuel line. So just attach it to the clip, the yellow clip over here on the left side, and then reinstall this initial clip that we took off. That should be all it is to it. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall this cover plate that we took off originally, and that should be it for this fuel line in the bracket. Now we're gonna work with the PCV lines, taking them off so we can route the new oil catch can. So we went ahead and pulled off the clamp on the inside where this PCV leads to. So now, a little bit of persuasion. I got. Okay. So something we got to do before we put on the oil catch can is we got to install the fittings for the out and also for the in. So inside MIshimoto's packaging, we have these fittings with these O-rings. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw them in first by hand. We're gonna grab our 17mm wrench, and we're gonna give it an extra tug just to make sure it's secured down properly. We have to take off these 3 Allens at the top, and those 3 Allens are 2.5mm in size. So break them all loose first. So we have the Allens removed. That's what we're gonna mate it up with the mounting bracket and reinstall them to hold down the catch can. This is a diagram of how the PCV lines are going to run on the catch can with the new lines from supplied by MIshimoto. And if you look here, the longer side is going to be faced towards the bottom, and it's going to be on the outlet. After everything's done, it should sit like this. This is going to connect to that bottom line on the PCV that we removed, and this one's going to connect to the top line. The smaller clamps are going to go on the ends. So for example, right there, and on this side, the clamp is going to go right here on this end, just like that. Our larger clamps are gonna go on the side connected to the oil catch can. So we're gonna go ahead and install those bolts onto our bracket, tying them down, and we can install these PCV lines. So we installed this top line already. We have some soapy water here. So what we did is we sprayed down the line, gave it enough lubrication to be able to slide that clamp over, because that clamp, there's not a lot of space to be able to slide on that clamp. Once we lubed it up a little bit, we were able to tighten it down. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna install these Allens that we took off. We're gonna go ahead and grab our 2.5mm wrench. So once we got our 3 Allens tying down, what we're gonna go ahead and do is spray down our bottom side of our line with the soapy water. We're gonna slide that on and then attach the clamp onto that. If you guys don't have a small set of pliers like that, I highly recommend you invest in them. Made my job 10 times easier trying to put on that bottom line with the small set of pliers. So this right here is the routing, guys, of the CCV. And that line goes into the valve cover. That should be everything for the CCV, guys. Every once in a while, make sure to check it to make sure if it's full or not, and we should be good to go. I'm surprised I didn't cut myself this time. Oh. Spoke too soon. I got a bruise. Last thing we got to reinstall before we start putting back on the valve cover, we got to install this fuel line bracket. There were 2 10mm bolts that we took off. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-thread them on back onto here. Then our second bolt.
When you do this, it's basically like a magnetic socket. No.
The paperwork says a magnet. That's pretty cool. So once we got that bracket nice and snug, we can go ahead and start reinstalling our valve cover. just in case you guys were curious how the oil catch can look like attached to the car. There you go. Looks really nice, it looks really subtle. Yes, my engine bay is dirty, it needs some cleaning. For everyone that's a returning viewer or have watched my channel in the past, thank you for all the support and all the love. I'm gonna be dropping a lot more videos in the future, and I hope my installs can help you install whatever products you guys are installing into your cars, and if not, I hope they're entertaining at least. I will be seeing y'all soon.